Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm here to talk about retro video games. Today I'm looking at another one of my favorites from childhood and replaying it to find out if it still holds up today. The game I played this week was StarTropics. StarTropics was released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1990. The game puts you into the shoes of Mike, a young man looking for his missing uncle, the archaeologist Dr. Jones, which I must say is highly original. It ends up he's been abducted by aliens, so Mike has to go find him. The gameplay is quite similar to something like Legend of Zelda. It's divided into two parts. First, there's the overworld, where you can travel around the world either by land or sea, and also visit villages where you can talk to NPCs who may be able to help you. When you enter a dungeon, you're still in a top-down 2D perspective, but the camera zooms in so you're a lot closer to the action. Dungeons are where all the combat takes place. They range from fairly straightforward at the beginning to somewhat maze-like and often require puzzle solving. Movement takes place on a grid, so you can only move up, down, left, and right. There are no diagonals. Mike's main weapon is his island yo-yo, a weapon with a fairly short range. Later in the game, you do get access to more powerful weapons, although using them is based on how much health you have. For example, the shooting star, a more powerful weapon with a greater range, requires you to have 6 full hearts in order to use it. If you have less than 6, you're downgraded back to the yo-yo. There are also a number of limited use items you can pick up, like this miracle mirror, which will reflect attacks back upon the attacker. There are magic items you can pick up which can do various things. You can pick up health potions, which will allow you to restore health at a later time, or use items like the snowman doll, which will freeze your enemy, allowing you more time to attack it safely. Most magic items have a specific use within a specific dungeon. The part of StarTropics that I look back upon most fondly is at one point in the game you need to input a code into your nav-com computer on your submarine, and it tells you to get the letter that your Uncle Mike had sent you and dip it in water. The letter was an insert in the game manual, so you had to get that out, dip it in water, and then the code would appear, which is pretty cool. I mean, when I was only 9 years old, it was like secret agent stuff, so that's one of the strongest memories I have about this game, even more than the gameplay now that I come to think of it. Combat gets harder in later dungeons as enemies become more numerous, faster, or take more hits to get down, while you stay the same speed for the whole game, besides occasionally having access to better weapons. As the game goes on, it quickly gets more challenging. However, a lot of the time the difficulty isn't really made difficult through combat, but through forced trial and error. There are things like having to walk through walls where you get no indication that you can walk through this wall, so I just, have to go through the dungeon constantly banging into walls trying to find which one it is that I can walk through, which is really more frustrating than anything. Another way the dungeons themselves get harder is that they'll occasionally place you in the dark. While with a lot of them you can track enemy movement patterns to figure out where the safe places to stand are, in some of them you really just have to guess. And then there are things like this, which just seems spiteful. Checkpoints in the game can be fairly unforgiving. Usually when you die, you're sent all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon to try again. Because of the use of limited use objects, this is pretty much a necessity because they don't want you getting stuck. However, it can be kind of annoying. This graveyard level in particular was annoying as it's filled with a number of false exits, and if you take one of them, you have to start again even if you haven't died. Unfortunately for me, StarTropics doesn't really stand the test of time. I quite enjoyed it when I first started replaying it, but as I went on in the game and it started getting more challenging, it also started getting a lot more frustrating and annoying. I didn't really like the trial and error method of the game. I found that the 2D movement on a grid was very awkward and made the controls feel sluggish. It's just hard to get used to after all of the games with great control schemes that I've played in the years in between when I first played StarTropics and now. That's not to say the game's without its good points. It does have its charms. The music is really great, and as far as the gameplay goes, I enjoy the boss fights. They manage to be challenging yet still be satisfying, as there's not so much of a trial and error basis for them. How long StarTropics lasts depends on how good you are at it. If you are great, or you've got the whole game memorized so you know where all the secrets are, you can probably beat it in about 3 hours. If you are not as comfortable with the combat or don't know all the secrets, then you're probably looking at 6, maybe even 7 or 8 hours. The unforgiving checkpoints can really draw out the game time if you die a lot. StarTropics isn't a very rare game, so if you want to pick up a cart, you can probably get it for about $10. It's also available on Virtual Console. So it seems that my memories of StarTropics were a lot more positive than my actual experience replaying it now. That's too bad, although I can't say that I'm sorry I gave it another shot. If there's anything you'd like to see me play in a future video, please leave me a comment. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please feel free to subscribe, like it, and share it, all that good stuff. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!